Welcome to the channel, Parker. How you doing, man?
I'm good.
I really appreciate you coming down. You live in Texas. Jacksonville's your primary residence out there east. I've been watching your videos for a really long time, and I think that it's super cool that we finally got to do something together. For this, I just wanted to kind of ask you some questions about some of your videos.
Sure.
Because like, I think that you do a lot of really interesting, wild stuff, and I think a lot of it needs some extra context.
Yeah.
For people to kind of understand exactly what's going on. But this is your main account on TikTok right now, and it says Dr. Parkinstein 2. Why is that?
Because my first account was banned at 880,000 followers.
Why'd they ban you?
They said age verification.
Oh, that's nonsense.
And then recently on this account, they just, like yesterday, I just found out they were banning me from going live till 2030 for age verification as well. So I appealed it this time, and I hope the appeal actually works. And if it doesn't work, I'll probably end up making a post about it or taking over the world.
That's kind of your thing, you want to take over the world? What does that mean?
So basically, in a nutshell, like, it's not like an evil way of taking over the world. It's just like take it over and like improve humanity, basically.
A friendly way.
In a friendly way, except for TikTok because they banned me. So like I will have to destroy their servers.
Okay, that's fine.
But anyway, other than that, it's to like help humanity and help people and progression of humanity and all that stuff.
Cool. I mean, yeah, I agree with all that stuff. So you have a couple videos pinned here. This is one of the first ones that I saw where I was like, oh, this is very realistic. So let's watch it first, and then I'll ask you some questions about it. So me when I was little, describing the Tesla coil magnifying transmitter principles.
Oh, it's a stick. Somebody must have dropped it. It's okay. I'll pick it up. Jill, are you going to come down here and draw?
Magnetic field. Actually, it's going to take an magnetic field, but it's going to take an electricity.
What are you going to draw, Juliana?
What's that music?
So it's the music that I listen to. Yes.
Yeah, I get it. Here's magnifying transmitter. Okay, so we'll get into that. But so that's when you were how old? I
was about 9 in that video. I built that in 2019. I was 19 years old when I built that.
So a decade later, you done built it. And you had, you were drawing, you had visions or?
Well, actually, so not usually, but I noticed when I was little, a lot of the time I would say stuff and it later on would happen. Like, I mean, when I was little, one time I had a dream that so I had this antique sewing machine. I had a dream that it broke. The next day it broke a needle. And I was like, okay, that was weird. Then I had this antique jukebox. I dreamed that it broke, and the next day it blew a fuse. So things like that. And then I'd also say things that I thought were gonna happen basically at a certain year, and it happened it's crazy stuff. But anyway, just stuff like that. I mean.
Now, how in the world did you build that?
Well, so I went to Home Depot.
Okay.
But
not how I thought it would start.
Bought a whole bunch of 2x4s. And then for the wire, Home Depot back then was selling number 10 stranded wire, 500 feet for $88 a spool. Now it's $127 a spool.
Damn.
Yeah. I used 4 rolls on the secondary coil, which is the outer coil of red wire. And then the center coil, the extra coil, I used about 4 spools as well. And now that extra coil is actually out of tune this whole time, but I've still managed to send electricity wirelessly to Chicago, 918.6 miles.
Yeah, that's lore. What does your parental figures do? Are they electrical engineers or?
My dad is a master electrician. He deals with residential wiring and stuff, but his maximum voltage is 600 volts. Now, when I was 3 years old, he taught me how to wire outlets and stuff, and I wired my first plug at 3 years old. And I was shocked the first time at 2 years old. I reached into the wall, and I don't know what I touched, but it shocked me. And so I think that's what made me this way. I don't know. But anyway.
This one. I like this one. Okay, so this is you. All right, let's watch the video first.
Waves to power a light bulb? through the air? Are you standing in the way of this? This energy has pathways. We now send energy through wires. Because you're not standing in the way of the wire. The wire is buried. The wire has insulation.
So if we explain this just for a moment, this is Neil deGrasse Tyson saying how you can't transmit electricity wirelessly
Right. Well,
effectively.
he works for NASA, so he's already out of his field talking about this. But anyway, like, I believe that science isn't about he said, she said. It's about doing the work, having a hypothesis, performing the experiment to prove or disprove your theory, and then coming up with the conclusion. Did it work or did it not work?
Yeah.
That's what science is, not about famous people saying, like, this will work or this won't work.
I agree entirely. And this is you demonstrating your magnifying transmitter.
Air to power something
that light bulb on that stool is an incandescent 11-watt light bulb.
The air could kill you.
That's
unless
crazy.
you bring a little bit amount and then you store it and then use it later.
Absolutely wild. Can you, when you're shooting electricity through the air, do you feel it?
I mean, sometimes you'll feel the ground start vibrating, but like not really. Now, one time I was standing in the middle of this thing when I first started out, and I got hit in the back by like a 4-foot arc. But what's crazy is you can't really feel it that well because it's such high frequency that it doesn't like go into your body.
Right.
It stays on the outside. It's called the skin effect. So it travels on the outside layer of the conductor or the skin to the ground, and that's how it doesn't kill you as well because it doesn't go and stop your heart. Right. So you can get away with more amps with that as well.
Interesting. So your dad is a master engineer or electrical
He's
engineer?
a master electrician.
Electrician.
So he taught me how to wire when I was 3.
Yeah.
But like once I got that transformer from like the telephone pole transformer, he didn't want me to get that. And he was like, I found one on eBay, and I was like, I bought it, and he was like, I really don't want you to hook that up until I get home. And so he was like, he did not
Freaking
want
out.
me to, and of course he came home and it was connected, and I was like, but anyway, I was like, hey, watch this. But anyway, I know what I'm doing, but like a lot of times it takes a lot of convincing to him for him to let me do something because like he's scared. Sometimes he doesn't think I know what I'm doing, but then he's gotten to the point now where he's like, he knows I know what I'm doing.
Is there anything he just said no?
One time I made nitroglycerin. That's the main ingredient, and dynamite.
I've seen the video.
First time
you hit it with a hammer?
I made it. The first time I made it, he was like, no, or I wanted to make it. He was like, no. And he like tried to call my grandma and stuff to talk me out of it. I was like, I guess. And so me and my grandma left and went like on an adventure. We went to see some abandoned building or something because I love doing that. But then I got bored, and that's never good for my dad. So I made it again, and I made it. And you can see the video on YouTube of me tapping it with a hammer and it blowing through the paper. And the camera sound didn't even do it justice. It made my ears ring. I had to like buy a helmet to put on for the next demonstration.
So yeah, you have a lot of very interesting stuff though. You have a unique like aesthetic style. It's Victorian era. You have so much cool stuff. The 10 types, I've seen that. You've got your electrical stove. I've seen that. You made, I think, cocoa on it or something.
I did hot cocoa.
I saw a video of that. You have so much interesting stuff on here. Is there anything you think would be cool to show? Post every day.
Okay, I know one. So there's one where my friend Chrisley's gonna be. Okay, today I'm going to be recording my song on my phonograph. I wrote this song in 2018. You can find it on almost all music platforms. My friend Chrisley's back there. Say hi.
Hello.
Okay, let's get started. Okay, so first I'm going to go ahead and put the recording head on.
That is so
So
wild.
I've taken the crank off of the apparatus because I always get asked.
And that's not a couch. What is that?
That is a Victorian love seat. It's from the 1890s.
Yeah, you can't call that a couch.
I'm finished recording. I put on the reproducer, which has a dollar sapphire tip on it, which will go along those same grooves.
And what the hell is this thing?
It is a phonograph, an Edison. I hate that name. Sorry, Edison phonograph.
All my homies hate Edison.
You should go leave me in the field tonight. You should go leave me for another guy. So I wrote that song when I was 18.
That
In
is
2018.
that iPad sitting there's weird.
Yeah.
That's bothering me.
Well, I pre-recorded my piano music onto that so that I could do, because like the piano normally isn't really loud enough
Right.
for my recordings. And stuff.
Yeah. So you have to blast it over the speaker.
And if you skip to the end, you can hear it play back.
So it just scratches into a tube.
Yeah, it's recording vibration, waves.
Right.
Everything is frequency and waves.
Wow.
So it literally, your voice, when you're recording, it has a sharp cutting head that cuts into the wax that sits on a
physical.
diaphragm. Yeah, it sits
What?
on a diaphragm, and when you sing into that horn, it makes it vibrate with your voice, just like your vocal cords vibrate to
Yeah.
produce sound. It's vibrating the little diaphragm, and it cuts your vibrations of your voice into that wax, which is actually metallic soap. And then when you play it back, there's a dull, rounded off sapphire tip, and you put that on. That's the reproducer. It reproduces the sound, and the horn amplifies it. It's mechanical amplification, basically.
Wow. I feel like that's so much more complicated than a computer.
I mean, no, not really. I mean, I don't think so.
Is there any other cool videos you can think of that people might want to see?
What about my Charleston video? Okay, today I'm going to show you a video from when I did the Charleston at Ravenwolf Manor at their Valentine's Day party.
This is so impressive. I don't think people understand.
I taught myself from YouTube videos. There's actually another Charleston video that compares me to with a flapper from the 20s.
Yeah.
I think if you go out of this one and scroll down a little bit, you're gonna see the side by side. So if you scroll, there it is.
Here we go. Oh, nice.
Of course, their cameras were faster back then. You know?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Looks sped up. I mean, that looks hard as hell.
It's really not. I mean, I've never fallen doing that, and that says something because I'm really clumsy.
And you call yourself, is that a flapper?
Well, that's a flapper in that, that's like the 1920s, like the women back then would dress in flapper.
Oh.
Yeah, and because
You're
they
not a
were.
flapper.
No.
Okay.
No. But anyway, they did that. It was a form, like, it was basically to give women rights and stuff back then, because they couldn't vote and all that. So it was like flappers would bob their hair and stuff. It was
look
just
different.
unheard of,
Right,
from the
that's cool.
Victorian era and stuff. Anyway.
And you can dance good.
Well, the Charleston, yeah.
I feel like that's one of the hardest ones.
It's really not
be
that
honest.
hard. So there was a record actually from the 1920s that explained in words how to dance the Charleston. It basically said, with your feet, you make X's and O's and throw your feet over telegraph poles. You will wear out your shoes and you'll wear out the floor or something. It said something like that because, they were against all that. But anyway.
This right here, is that your stove?
Yes, so one of them. I
That
have
is
3.
so cool looking. Yeah. Whoa! And that is gas or electric?
That's electric.
Whoa!
Yeah, and since then I've fixed that burner that's on the bottom of it. Okay, here is the base of the.
That's so cool looking, the way it lights up.
And it looks like a labyrinth too.
Yeah, it looks like that's interesting. Man, stuff is ugly today.
Yeah.
And stupid looking.
Well, I mean, they built things detailed back then, and it was simple, minimal parts, less things to break, and quality materials. It was built to last. They knew it would last too. You can tell it was built. It was well built to be handed down and stuff. Like even clothes from back then. I have like an old lawyer's coat from 1895. It was made in like April 6th of 1895. That's the oldest coat I own. I own like 15 coats from before 1920. So they even made clothes well back then.
Yeah, that's really cool, man. That's a super interesting page you've got. There's nobody doing it like Dr. Parkinstein. Are you a real doctor?
No, it's a play on Frankenstein. A lot of people ask me that. It's a play on Frankenstein, and people have called me that for a long time because it's like my nickname, basically. Yeah. Okay, today I'm having a tin type of me made.
And you had to lay there for a couple seconds?
That one took 6 seconds to take. But the one that was taken at my apartment, it makes your eyes look weird and it makes you look older. It is currently in the process of being developed. There's the camera, and there is here. It's gonna be a little bit before that, I think, where the part. Okay.
Oh, there it is. Oh, there's the one in the house where you look a little bit older.
Yeah, and my eyes, the eyes, it makes them like, I don't know how to describe it.
Have you ever seen the music video for Thriller?
Yeah, I look dead.
It kind of looks like, like you're gonna come up and maybe your eyes are yellow or something.
Yeah.
That is so cool though. The tin types are, and is that literally made of tin?
It's actually on an aluminum plate. They never really use tin, but they call them tin types. Don't know why. I guess because the metal resembled tin in some way or something. But I made that coat in that video actually.
That's so wild. Just casually making coats. Yeah, that's a cool. Yeah, that's a really cool. I would love to get a tin type.
And TikTok actually muted the music in that video.
I saw you posted it twice, yeah.
So if you skip to the end, you'll see what I did to avoid the copyright.
Where about?
Like right at the end of the video. So I did that to avoid the copyright. Because I can adjust the speed. So it doesn't match anything on iTunes.
Oh.
Okay, today I'm having a 10 type.
That's cool. That's so cool. Also super photogenic, by the way. I mean, you like that. You're like a period correct guy. Everything you do is period correct. You're not cosplaying. You live it. It's really unique and just like such a, I don't know, there's just not many people. Everybody wants to look like everybody.
Well, I mean, everybody wants to copy everything. Like they see something and they want to copy other people. Nobody's like unique, or they want to like. Okay, how do I say this? So it's basically like monkey see, monkey do, and they think that if they're different, like people will judge them and stuff, you know, and like they won't fit in. And I think that's kind of what stops them from doing their own unique thing. Where like I just do what I want, when I want, how I want, knowing that no matter what I do, there will always be a handful of negative people.
Yeah.
No matter what I do.
Yeah.
So who cares anymore? Just do what you do. And the negative people will weed themselves out. And also, they'll spend their whole life trying to bring others down like that. While you rise up the ladder of success, they'll be stuck being negative, and that's all they'll ever accomplish. And then they'll have to sit back and watch you succeed.
That is a head screwed on right philosophy mindset. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Go subscribe to Dr. Parkinstein, Parker, his YouTube channel, TikTok.
My YouTube is Dr.Parkinstein, and then my Instagram is pman817, and my TikTok is Dr.Parkinstein, spelled with I's and the number 2. My Twitter is Dr._Parkinstein.